A powerful earthquake shook Morocco, killing more than 1,000 people, destroying buildings, and setting off a scramble to rescue those trapped under the debris. The magnitude 6.8 quake struck less than 50 miles from the ancient city of Marrakesh, a popular tourist destination.
The room started shaking. There's no other way. We was going backwards and forwards, and everything started moving, and pictures started moving, and so we just grabbed some clothes and our bags, and we raced out.
Along with the collapsed buildings, a historic mosque was damaged, but Marrakesh escaped the worst of it. Rural areas that are difficult to access suffered the most severe damage, officials said. Tremors were felt across the country, and as far away as Portugal. Officials said the timing of the quake, which hit at 11:11 p.m. when most people were home, also made things worse. Videos showed residents and tourists clearing restaurants and spilling out onto the streets shortly after the quake. Efforts to rescue residents trapped under the debris are underway. With many more injured and in critical condition, authorities said they expected the death toll to rise. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, earthquakes in Morocco are uncommon but not unexpected. However, there has been none of this size within about 310 miles of Friday's quake since 1900.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Tonight, the pictures from Morocco are astonishing, even as the scope of Friday's earthquake disaster is still unfolding. Today, President Biden expressed his condolences to the North African country. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said the U.S. is ready to help. The death toll now at 2,100 is expected to rise as rescuers desperately try to find survivors in the rubble. The U.S. Geological Survey put the quake that struck Friday at 6.8 in magnitude. Homes and buildings collapsed, including in the old city of Marrakesh. CBS's Chris Livesay is there. Chris, first, if you could tell us what you're seeing right now.
Good evening, Jerika. Here in the ancient city of Marrakesh, people are forced to sleep outside for the third night in a row as the death toll around the country is climbing. The jolting moment the quake rips through the country. CCTV footage shows terrified Moroccans fleeing for their lives as buildings ancient and new collapse all around them. The worst devastation in the scenic High Atlas Mountains, where rescuers are racing to reach survivors trapped beneath the debris. Others are less fortunate. I lost my two daughters. May God have mercy on them, he says. They were sleeping and the ceiling fell on them. Untold victims remain trapped in areas cut off from aid, where winding roads and landslides make much of the quake zone difficult and in some cases impossible to reach so far. Many of those within reach have sustained serious injuries, an estimated 2,000 people, like Abdelatif Aitbella, who can barely move or speak. We can't go back home because of the danger of collapse, says his wife Saida. I have two kids, 4 and 5 years old. If he can't work, we're going to go hungry. While in cities like Marrakesh and its famed Casbah, medieval buildings that have stood for a millennium could topple at any moment, if they haven't already. Here in Marrakesh, these ancient walls made of mud and brick, one of the very things that makes this city just so picturesque, have now made it so dangerous. Fearful of the aftershocks, tourists are among the distressed.
The room started shaking. There's no other way. We was going backwards and forwards, and everything started moving, and pictures started moving, and so we just grabbed some clothes.
But locals like these, now homeless, have nowhere else to go but the street. So you're afraid that this roof could collapse at any moment? We're afraid, says Hafsa. We just want a place to stay. And Jerika, the U.S. Embassy tells us that they're aware of a small number of injured Americans, but of no deaths. They also tell us that a team of U.S. disaster experts has just arrived to help determine how America can also help and the humanitarian effort.
Yeah, the devastation truly unimaginable. Chris Livesay in Morocco, thank you.
Yeah, Shalom. This is the book of Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm or tempest and the flame of devouring fire. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruchaha Kodash. And double honor to mighty church, the apostles, the elders, and the bishops of Great Millstone, who watch over our souls. Shalom to the Yakim worldwide. And are sincere and serious doing the will of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Ruchaha Kodash. 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 1 and 2. To you all, stay strong and stay mighty. 2 Ezra 9 verse 1, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So you should be paying attention. Don't ignore the signs. Just because it happen to a city near you doesn't mean it ain't gonna happen later on, right? All these are signs that you should be taking note of. Is right? Don't ignore it. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put it off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed. St. Matthew 24 and verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. I think Trinidad and Tobago had one. Let me double check there. Trinidad and Tobago, the brother put it up. Just make sure if it's correct. Emotionally, but it right. But I did put it up. Magnitude 5.1 earthquake recorded in TNT. A magnitude 5.1 earthquake 14 hours ago. According to the SRC, the event occurred at around 7:34 this morning. That was 14 hours ago. Right? So some are being recorded, some are not being recorded. But we're facing diverse places. Proverbs 22 verse 3, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. So you tend to continue to ignore these signs, but the Most High is visiting the world which He made. Right? So make no tarrying to turn to the Lord. So Rock 5 verse 7. Right? Make no tarrying to turn to Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. That's all. Shalom.